Hi everyone, Arnold, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to deposit your money on Trading 212 and how to create your first investment pie. In the previous video I showed you how to sign in, how to verify your identity, how to submit the documents, the proof of residence, so to speak. I used like a bank statement, and now that process is gone, it's been like a few days, they were really fast approving the account. I'm going to show you like the next step is to deposit your money and to start creating your investment portfolio. And I'm going to use my phone again because I already made other tutorials here on YouTube channel, and most of the time I use my laptop, but since most of you watch my videos on phones, everyone nowadays uses mobile apps, and the app from Trading 212 actually is like really intuitive and user friendly, so I will continue the tutorial using my phone. But if you want me to do a tutorial on my laptop, I won't have any problems, but I don't think that will be necessary. So here you have the normal menu in the bottom, the home menu, the pie chart. Okay, I haven't created anything because I've been only in this account for the past few days, and I'm publicly documenting everything that I'm doing. You have like a search bar, so I'm discovering stuff alongside you, so I might encounter some problems that you will also face, and I find this really useful, this type of tutorials where I just do this essentially live. So there's like a social feature that I've seen in other brokerage apps. And here in the final one, this dashboard is where you're going to deposit your funds. I already deposited some funds because I want to create the pie right now, so I did that a few days ago. But you have a few options. So I might need to blur some stuff here, but you have essentially some ways that you can deposit your funds. And if you're watching this on a different country, you might have other options. Remember, I'm here in Portugal, so it might be a bit different for you. Essentially the method of depositing that I always go for, and this is like my personal preference, is always bank transfer. I know it might be a bit of an hassle to wait 1 to 3 business days for the transfer, but from my experience, it's the safest one, and it's most convenient, and it is less likely for you to have problems. I have experience with other apps and platforms like in the past using credit card, and if you create those temporary ones that expires when you want to cash out, you might encounter some problems, or you might not. I personally use the bank transfer, so it's really intuitive. I already have here an account, so they just essentially give you the IBAN of the bank. They give you like a number that you will use as a reference using your MBNet home banking app from your bank. I'm sure it in your country will be different from mine, or if you live in the same country as I do, in Portugal, you might have other banks, but this is like really intuitive. If you have any specific questions, you can leave them down and below. And this is essentially it. So in my case, I had to wait 1-2 business days in order to deposit it. And also, just a side note, you can use a promo code. You just type Cadete, apply code in between the first 7 days, and you will get, you can see here, you will get a share up to 100 euros here on this platform. So I got a share of Tilray, and I'm going to accept. And so essentially you just get a free share if you sign up and put my promo code, and you just deposit the minimum amount. These will vary from country to country. Some countries it might be 10 euros, other countries might be 1 euro. So yeah, why not try this? And so order executed, and I have, as you could see in the beginning, I had 400 euros. So I haven't used any of my money, and I already have a share that is worth 6 euros. And after 3 days, you can sell it, I think, and after 30 days, you can withdraw that amount. So I want to create my pie chart now and see that this created like an allocation for me. So right now I don't know how to create one. Actually I do. Again, I'm doing this live, and as you can see, this app is really intuitive. So I don't know if you're seeing the bottom screen, the pie chart thing, and there is investments because I just got this share for free. and I go here to pies. As always, everything that I do in my YouTube videos is not financial advice in any way. Remember, I just do this for educational purposes, entertaining purposes, and just because an investment might make sense for you, for me, it might not be necessarily the best one for you. Remember, we all live under different situations. Maybe 100 euros for me might be not a lot of money. For you, it might be a lot. For example, some risk, I might view a specific company as less risky than you. We all have different risk tolerance, so always bear that in mind. This is like a really important reminder. And the playlist that I'm creating is going to be me creating a portfolio from scratch, where I'm going to contribute a symbolic amount each month, so that to prove you that even if we don't have a lot, we can start building. And most of my audience, fortunately, is young like me, so we have a lot of time in our lives, so we can make some mistakes along the way, but time is one of the main factors in building wealth and compounding your net worth. So I'm here in the section of pies, and I'm going to create a pie. And here it seems you have like a stock tab, you have an ETF tab, and you have a watch list. Okay, I already have a watch list, but I don't remember creating a watch list. They probably assign you a watch list when you create this account. And there are like some really known companies, but since I am creating my portfolio for my playlist, I want to keep things really low. I wanted to contribute, let's say, 40 euros per month. So that's more or less what you spend on going out for a dinner. So it's one less meal, or two less meals, or four less meals, depending where you eat. I think saving 10 euros per week sounds feasible, but if you can't remember, this platform allows you to buy fractional shares, and the minimum investing is low, so that's a plus. So I'm going to start, since I'm building my portfolio from scratch, I want to see okay, I am in the ETF section, so I want to see some S&P 500 ETFs, and I'm just here closely just investigating. Let me see. So this dividend is distributing ETF, and I already covered this in previous videos. I'm going to search here for, let's say, no, this is also distributing. The difference mainly is like distributing, it distributes dividends, and I think here on Trading 212 they have the option to auto reinvest the dividends, but here in Portugal our taxes for dividends is like 28%, so I would prefer to have my money in an ETF that's accumulating, so they auto reinvest, you never get those dividends. So since my investment horizon is long term, I won't be taxed towards 28% every time I get dividends, and they are still there, just being reinvested, but I never see them. So let's see, S&P 500, Invesco, let me search here, iShares. So this one is accumulating. You could see there on the bottom, but I will just use the key document. This one is accumulating. So, and it's managed by BlackRock, one of the biggest institutions, one of the companies you could argue that owns the world in a way. So how do I add this? So there is a huge option here, add to pie. So I'm also going to search for another ETF that I covered recently in one of my videos, the information, that is an information technology sector. So this is a more concentrated ETF. So it's not as diversified as being invested, let's say, in the 500 biggest companies in the US. I'm going to add here another company that I really like, Alibaba. I already made my fundamental analysis, and I don't want this video to be super long because the purpose of this video is for me to show you how to create a pie. But since I'm creating this for my playlist, I am a bit more methodical here, but I already made videos about these companies. If you want to see my spreadsheets and fundamental analysis, discounted free cash flows, I'll leave those videos in the links down below. So I have the ETF for the S&P 500, so that's going to be the bulk of this investment, at least in this beginning, because you want to have like a nice cushion, be a bit diversified. Now I have exposure to China, I already have an information technology ETF. Now I'm going to choose a company that I like, for example, Google. You're watching YouTube, Google owns YouTube. I can't live without Google, so I'm going to be adding, even though I already analyzed Google and I think it's overvalued right now. I'm still adding this because I have a new strategy, let's call it that way. Nancy Pelosi invested in Google call options, so I'm going to see what she's up to, and she has a really good track record. So I'm going to put here, let's say, Amazon, and let's not delay this video much longer. So there's also the option to add directly. So we have 6 instruments. I'm just going to hit the blue arrow on the bottom. And the average annualized return, oh, they even calculate an average annual return for you. This is really nice. I don't want this distribution. Remember, we are in the beginning. I don't want to go YOLO into a single company. And as always, this is not financial advice. Just because you see me doing this, always do your own research, always do your own due diligence, and don't invest just because you're watching one YouTube video. But I'm going to put 50% for the S&P 500 ETF, even though I made other analysis and I know companies right now that are undervalued and I would perceive them as a better investment. I'm starting this portfolio from scratch. This is what I would do if I was like in the beginning. I would diversify, even though most of the American market is like overvalued. But this is the correct approach according to my opinion. So I'm going to put 50% for the S&P 500 ETF, so these 50% are going to be distributed across all of the 500 biggest companies in the US. Then 25% is going to be concentrated in information technology companies. There's companies in here like Intel, AMD, and others. And I'm going to invest, let's put 5% in Alibaba, 5% in Tencent. So I'm going to have 10% exposure to 2 Chinese companies. Probably the best approach here would be investing in another Chinese ETF. But since I'm young, my risk tolerance is medium-high. I'm confident in these 2 picks. Remember, just because I'm doing this, that doesn't necessarily mean that you should do it. But this is just my approach. And I'm going to put 10% for Google, and let's say 5% for Amazon. So that gives us 100% in total, and this is an average annual return of 18%. You could see that just because I increase my diversification, my annual return is lower. And past performance isn't indicative of future results. Always bear that in mind. Just because these companies or this portfolio grew 18% annually, that doesn't necessarily mean that in the next 5 years it's going to grow this much. Always bear that in mind. There's always risk associated to this. So I have the option to auto invest, set an investment schedule, and automate deposits. This is really convenient, so I don't have to go manually to the app and invest. I can just have some money deposit here on Trading212, and each month or each week, depends on how do you schedule it, it will invest for you. This is actually really convenient. And manually, if you just want to using free funds in your account, I'm going to select the auto invest option to see what happens. Remember, I'm doing this for live. I'm seeing these menus for the first time, so if I see any problems or touch different things, I think it's cool for you to also see it that way. So let's think that I have, it's getting really dark here. And so let's see, do I want to keep this for 10 years, 5 years? This is really cool. It calculates based on past projections, how much would your portfolio appreciate. So let's suppose in 10 years, after 10 years and 120k contribution, oh, no, I don't want to contribute this much. I was thinking it is too much money for me. So monthly 12 initial deposit. I'm going to say 40 euros. Can I put 40 euros? Okay, you can select directly. Okay, get out of the way. And is this okay? Monthly. Choose the day. I'm going to choose, okay, it's going to be 12 because it's today, I guess. So you can select every 2 weeks, daily. This is really nice. And okay, my minimum investment is going to be 20 bucks because I suppose I have some companies, 5% for a company that would be less like than €1 or something. So 40 euros. Let's see, after 1 year, I would have contributed 40 480 euros, so that's 40 euros per month on the 12 months, and I would end up with 526 euros. So let's say if I wanted to keep this for 10 euros, for 10 years, I would have contributed more or less 5k, and I would have 13.5 k euros, which is a lot considering our growth from the past. So if I wanted to keep this for retirement, you can see I would contribute 20k and have almost or like 3.69 million. So that would be a really good retirement project for you. We are still young, this might be a good idea, and I'm getting low on battery on my camera, so I'm going to put here 10 years, and let's see what happens next. Next, I'm going to name it Cadete Public Portfolio, and hopefully I will be able to share with you. Okay, we are ready to go, and fund Pi. Select payment method. Oh, interesting. Will be free. Okay, this is if you wanted to associate with a credit card. So I'm going to do this, and probably I'm going to turn off the investment, and I'm going to invest directly from the funds that I already have here on my account. I'm going to select here 40. So you can see 2 euros is going to be going to Alibaba, 4 euros is going to Google, 20 euros is going to the S&P 500. So confirm buy. Your request will be processed. Okay, because right now the US stock market, stock exchanges are open, but for the ETFs, I need them to be open here on Europe. So it's going to be only tomorrow morning. So you can see here, value invested right now has been 50% of my portfolio has been invested, but the other 50 is still waiting. No, it's not. 66% is invested. So 10 bucks is invested, and 30 bucks are still in cash from the 40 euros. So maybe tomorrow I will show you how it's looking, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, it's a new day. Let's see if all of my trades have executed, and we have our first buy created. So I'm going to open the app right now. Okay, I'm in the menu. I'm going to hit the Pi logo on the bottom. You can see here my portfolio 46. I know I invested 40 euros, but those 6 euros were from the free trade. If you use that promo code that I mentioned earlier, and let me see. Okay, investments. You can see here how much we have in all of them. So okay, the ETFs have been invested this morning. So if we go to this Pi section, let's explore a bit and see what options do we have. Okay, we can invest and withdraw funds. Okay, withdrawing. I can withdraw, confirm sell, and I would have to wait for today's afternoon in order to sell the Alibaba, Alphabet, Amazon, and in the morning they would sell the ETF, so it's like the opposite. Or I can invest more money, the remaining 360 euros that I have in the account. So let me see what options we have. We can have, if these companies pay dividends, we can have the option to reinvest them, but here in Portugal, at least you would still have to pay taxes on these dividends. Remember that, even though they don't deposit directly on your bank account, it's only here on the app, you still need to pay them. So a bit of consideration in your part. Your goal, what is this? Okay, you can update what is the goal of this portfolio. We have here on the top holdings, and we can see here, well, the huge chunk is going to be this 20 euros, which is the ETF that tracks the S&P 500. We have the ETF with the information technology sector, which is the other 25% chunk. We have Alphabet, which is Google, Amazon, Alibaba, Tencent. Okay, we can rebalance, and rebalance, I'm supposing it will adjust. Yeah, it will adjust. Let's suppose for a second that Google doubled in value and Alibaba felt enough. I think this rebalancing option would sell a bit of the shares from Google and buy a bit more Alibaba, just to be in coordination with the percentages that we defined earlier, this 50%, 25%. And here we can add more investments, yes, and we can change this by, probably I will change this by a bit throughout this year, depending on the situations, but as you can see here, this is public, I think. but there might be a social feed. But okay, social, I confirm. Okay. And you can see that my username is Cadet. So if you want to follow, I think there is, yeah, you can see here my Pi portfolio, or you can just simply subscribe to this YouTube channel and I'll document it, let's say month to month or 2 weeks by 2 weeks, depending how much time I will have, and I'll keep you updated on this. So don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more videos relating to these topics, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.